Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're deconstructing a really fascinating product launch called StampVault AI. We're going to put on our analytical hats and see if its underlying business logic, and honestly, its pretty bold marketing claims, actually hold up to independent, third-party scrutiny. We've got a ton of detailed source material to dig through, including the actual sales page and a seriously thorough block-by-block breakdown from the independent review site ClickRetina. So this is a deep dive into the real mechanics of a digital product launch, and I gotta say, the findings are surprisingly refreshing. Let's get right into it.
Okay, so let's start with this counterintuitive business hook right out of the gate. Usually when we talk about digital publishing, like a Kindle book or a planner, the customer buys it, uses it, and then it just kind of sits on a digital shelf. But StampVault AI is built on the highly lucrative logic of selling consumable digital products. The source material asks a really direct question. Why would you ever want your customers to destroy your product? Well, the answer lies in a very specific, highly active crafting niche.
Take faux postage stamps, for instance. Independent review data from ClickRetina actually confirms that this is a real, established Etsy category. It wasn't just, invented out of thin air for this marketing campaign. Crafters and hobbyists are actively buying these digital sheets, printing them out on physical paper, cutting them up with scissors, and gluing them into junk journals and scrapbooks. The product is quite literally cut to pieces by the end user.
And the sheer genius here is that because the product is physically consumed and destroyed the moment it's used, buyers inevitably have to return for volume 2. The sales page hits the nail right on the head. You are not selling a keepsake. You are selling a refill. This creates a really powerful cycle of recurring revenue for digital sellers. They aren't trying to sell one giant definitive book. They're selling a continuous, never-ending stream of crafting supplies. It's an absolutely brilliant shift in perspective for anyone working in the print-on-demand or digital download space.
Section 1. 3 Ways AI Stamps Fail.
Now, you might be wondering, why not just generate these yourself? Generating these specific assets is definitely not as simple as just opening up a chatbot. If you ask a standard AI tool for a postage stamp, the sales page explicitly states it's going to fail in 3 very distinct ways that completely ruin the product for print-on-demand sellers. First off, you lose the perforated edge. A straight rectangle just looks like a tiny picture. It doesn't look like a stamp. Second, AI models naturally try to force text onto stamps, which gives you garbled letters, misspelled words, and literally non-existent countries. That kind of gibberish is actually the most common reason a print-on-demand interior gets rejected by strict platforms like Amazon KDP. And finally, the AI tends to float the stamp in a white square. On your screen, you might not even notice it, but when a customer prints 9 of these out on a physical page, each stamp carries a faint, ugly gray halo, making the whole thing look like a cheap photocopy.
But the solution engineered inside StampVault AI totally bypasses this. The results are text-free, perfectly perforated renders. There is absolutely no garbled text anywhere to be found, and the scalloped edges are crisp and totally believable. These are produced by the hyper-specific prompts engineered inside StampVault AI. The creators literally spent the time building out the negative prompts and specific parameters needed to bypass those exact 3 failure modes, completely solving the technical headache for the seller.
Section 2. Inside the prompt vault.
Remember, this product isn't just selling you a static folder of finished images. It is selling you the engineered prompts so you can generate an infinite supply of your own unique assets. The creator process is distilled into 3 really simple steps. First, you copy a prompt from their library. Second, you paste it into your AI tool to render the stamps. And third, you lay them out, usually 9 to a page, export them as a PDF, and list them on Etsy or KDP. The source material claims this whole process is meant to take a seller from filtering prompts to exporting a finished product in about an hour. And I love this. They actually explicitly warn buyers to be realistic about time, noting that anyone claiming you can build a finished book in 10 minutes is just selling you a complete fantasy. The workflow itself actually runs through an included offline HTML kit that houses all 346 base prompts. What's fantastic about this is that it opens in any standard browser and doesn't even require an internet connection to browse through. The prompts are meticulously pre-written in 4 separate formats: universal plain text, Midjourney, conversational models like ChatGPT and Gemini, and tag-weighted engines like Leonardo. So you don't have to adapt the syntax yourself at all. You literally just click the button for the tool you already pay for.
Section 3. Validating the sales funnel.
So it's one thing for a sales page to make big claims, but it is another entirely to verify if the vendor's financial structures and funnel claims actually match up with reality. In this case, The independent review confirmed a rare, perfect three-way match between the sales page, the joint venture page aimed at affiliates, and the live affiliate dashboard itself. Every single price and every single commission percentage, including a highly unusual 70% commission on that $17 front-end core product, matched perfectly. The ClickRetina reviewer actually noted this was the cleanest result they had seen in their review series to date. Absolutely no discrepancies found across all three sources.
And the math behind this is what really stands out. If a buyer were to go through the funnel and purchase tier by tier, it would generate over $184 in affiliate commissions. This mathematically validates exactly why the vendor offers a transparent $147 Empire bundle right on the front end. It allows buyers to bypass all the upsells in one single payment. And the vendor is incredibly upfront about this, actively warning buyers not to grab this bundle if they don't already have an established shop or a mailing list, simply because the core value of that top tier relies heavily on a resell license.
Section 4. The final verdict and vendor objectivity.
Now, we always want to keep a strictly neutral, data-driven perspective, not just on the product, but on the product creator herself. When investigating the creator, who goes by Thung Daisy, the independent review found a very honest but mixed picture. On the plus side, she has a verifiable, easily findable web presence as a reviewer of AI products over on her site, aipip.net. However, the main caveat is that she is a first-time vendor on this specific platform, meaning she has zero established track record or prior sales history to point to. But here's the kicker. The vendor herself plainly states this exact fact on her own joint venture page, flat out telling affiliates that any conversion figures printed would just be completely made up. That level of self-imposed honesty was heavily praised in the independent review.
What is also truly unique here is exactly how this vendor handles refunds. They plainly state a strict no-refund policy. Now, usually that's a massive red flag, right? But here, the vendor uses this strict policy to justify providing 30 high-quality finished sample renders completely upfront. They explicitly tell potential buyers, look, check the quality of these samples first, read exactly what the AI tools require, and if you just want finished art instead of prompts, skip this purchase entirely. It is absolutely a buyer beware approach, but it's one built on radical upfront disclosure.
So, to wrap up this explainer, consider this for a moment. We've just looked at a product that is hyper-specific to a proven, verified niche, offers a perfectly matched sales funnel, and actually goes out of its way to warn away the wrong buyers. In an industry so often known for vague hype and totally exaggerated income claims, does StampVault AI's independently verified transparency represent the actual future of digital marketing? If honest disclosure and strict mathematical transparency become exactly what buyers demand, it's going to be fascinating to see how the rest of the industry adapts to survive. Thanks for joining me to explore the mechanics behind this launch.